and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it is time for match day 9 in La Liga. It is Alaves against Barça in the final game before the international break, and today we've got all of the latest news ahead of this game, including WSCHN, Hansi Flick and Dani Almo. We've got the potential lineup, and of course, predictions. Can my hot streak continue? We're going to find out. Let's do this. But I would like to begin here today, guys, with the extra special super thanks donations coming in on the channel. Big thank you indeed for yet again great support from Zicky Frankie, who is always here on the channel, and again to Matthew from Malta there. He's excited about the competition for places that we talked about yesterday, and mainly the strength from Hansi Flick to properly enforce it at the club. And a quick warning, guys, make sure you're aware of tomorrow's kickoff time, because it is an earlier one on Sunday. Make sure that you do not miss it. We kick off at 4 PM local time, and that is why today we don't have any Hansi Flick press conference in today's video. He's going to speak later on this evening. I had to get the video out to make sure you have the chance to watch it, because coming into this weekend, Barça, as it stands right here, are 3 points clear at the top of the league table, and even despite, of course, our loss last weekend against Osasuna, we've managed to keep a nice gap here right before the international break, and what we want to do now is avoid any mistakes here, especially when you look around us right now. Things could get interesting this weekend, because Real Madrid will actually play Villarreal tonight, and that right there is second against third in La Liga, and given how well Villarreal have been playing so far this season, how well they played against us, don't forget, that should be a test for Madrid after what has been quite a tricky week for them here. The past 2 games have not really gone as they wanted, so let's wait and see how they get on later today. But when you are looking here at our opponents this Sunday, focusing on our job right here, Alaves currently are mid-table in La Liga. They've sort of been hovering around their 10th, 11th place. You know what they're going to bring to this game, but they have had a solid start to the season, especially they're looking at their results at home so far. They've had 2 wins at home along with a draw, so they are unbeaten in their own stadium. And also looking at the game there against Real Madrid recently, they gave them a massive scare at the Bernabeu. Alaves played really well. They're absolutely fearless, so we can't take them lightly. We saw last weekend against Osasuna, going away in La Liga to anybody, it can be tricky, it can be tough. You've got to turn up, you've got to make sure that you apply yourself from the first whistle. I think what we really did wrong against Osasuna, we didn't start the game well. You know, before half-time, we're 2-0 down. You know, that can't happen. You cannot do that there and expect to suddenly turn things around in the second half. The important thing for us here, start the game well, start with confidence, just as we did against Young Boys there. Put the pressure on, get yourself ahead in the game, and then you can really start to open teams up. So that will certainly be the idea from Hansi Flick heading into Sunday. And of course, guys, the very big news ahead of this game, and it has been building all week long, hasn't it? The arrival of WSCHN at Barça. And I've got to say, guys, seeing him just in training over the past few days, it's been a bit surreal, really. It's just not something that you expected to see, of course, at the start of the season. But now to see him arrive and to be in a Barcelona shirt, he looks really at home. It suits him really well here. And I'm so excited to see him when he does finally get that opportunity to play. And from what we're hearing here, in his first few days of training, everybody at the club there, the medical staff, those in Hansi Flick's staff as well, they've been surprised by the physical condition of WSCHN. I think maybe some people were expecting him to come in because he had retired. Maybe he would have let himself go a bit, but that is not the case at all here. He's been in really good condition. He's been doing individual strength training sessions on his own, along with their trying to work on the goalkeeping side, of course, with the team as well. And everything says right now that he's actually ahead of schedule. And what's more is that he is now registered in La Liga. Now, it's interesting that Barça have taken that step here to register him. As of right now, we don't know if he'll be involved this weekend, but he could be. He's registered now. He's actually looking and feeling very good. He's made a good first impression. Let's wait and see if we see him. Speaking, though, about good condition, guys, just wanted to follow up on some of the things that we were talking about yesterday there. One of those was Dani Almo, his return, his recovery, how important, of course, he has proved to be for this team. And what is interesting about him right now is just how hard he apparently is working to get himself back and to get himself back in tip-top condition, because apparently Dani Almo right now is training up to 3 times a day on a personal, individual recovery plan to get himself back there in peak condition. And I think maybe if the club would have stretched it, if they would have really pushed it, he could have even been ready for tomorrow. You know, an outside bet there. But I think what they wanted to do is just give him all of that international break. He's going to keep on with that training. He's going to be training with the team probably quite soon. I wouldn't expect that to be far away at all. And then after the international break, that's when he's going to come back. And that is when, again, we're going to see his magic. However, guys, in terms of the latest Barca news, it hasn't all been rosy throughout this week, and there have been quite a few rumours building here surrounding Ansu Fati's future at the club, and it seems to come mainly, I would say, from Sport, who I often say can be very hit or miss when it comes to Barca news, but they keep insisting here that Ansu could leave the club in January. You know, they went on about it in the summer. He didn't go, of course. Now they're saying about January, he hasn't played much, he hasn't got many minutes in the team. Is he going to be able to really showcase what he can do? And they keep talking about the fact that Sevilla still maintain their interest in Ansu Fati. They were looking at him, they were talking to Barca about him back in the summer. They would still like to have him in January. Could Ansu leave the club here? But I just think it's too soon for all of that. You know, I know he hasn't played, I know that he hasn't had a great deal of minutes, but he spent a lot of time injured. You know, he missed out on that crucial pre-season period. When he got injured in pre-season, we all knew it was going to be tough for him then. Everybody else is going to have a head start on you. You're going to have to work your way back in, and that's what we're seeing right now. But I would expect here, we've got lots of games up until the January transfer window. He is going to get minutes, he is going to get opportunities, and then judge him. There's no good talking now about whether he's going to stay, whether he's going to go. There's plenty of time here. Let's see what he can do. Let's give him more and more opportunities. Let's build up his minutes, and let's let the kid play. Let's get off his back for a moment here and wait until he's on the pitch to properly judge him. But indeed, guys, speaking about on the pitch and looking at this Sunday's game against Alaves, the big question is going to be, well, how is Hansi Flick going to line up in this game? Are we going to see any rotation? Are we going to see things switched around a bit? Or, of course, following on from that loss last weekend, are we just going to go strong? Because I would say personally here, guys, I do not expect much rotation at all this weekend from Hansi Flick. And it's not just because of what happened last weekend. We knew that had to happen at some point. But also, bear in mind here, our game in midweek, it wasn't very intense, was it? You know, we didn't have to work tremendously hard against young boys there. And also, we were able to rest some players in that game. So I think here we've come into this weekend with the perfect preparation. Everybody's fit. Everybody's ready to go within reason. Of course, we've still got a few players out. But I think we're going to go full strength here. I think we're going to see Flick go for it here. Big win again before the international break. Sign me up. Because I would be looking there at a very strong backline and sort of the Gala 11 backline right now. Jules Koundé, Pau Kubasi, Inigo Martinez, providing everything is fine with him, and Alejandro Balde there at left back. Now, the interesting part, though, I think is going to be at left wing. Because honestly, I don't think Ferran Torres should start again. Now, that's not me ganging up on him, but I just don't think we should continually reward players when they haven't done enough. So I think Ferran here cannot start. And I'd also like to see Rafinha stay in that central area. He's done so well there. He does a lot of really, really good work in that central position when we don't have Almo. So I'd like to leave him there. But that means then on the left, it's either going to have to be Pau Victor or Ansu Fati. Now, is Hansi Flick going to start either of those two? We haven't really seen too much willingness from him to do that recently. So on the basis maybe that he wouldn't start those players, I'd change things around because I just don't want to see Ferran in the starting lineup, guys. So I would say Marc Casado, Eric Garcia holding midfielders in this game. Moving further on, Rafinha from the left. Down the middle, it's going to be Pedri. And on the right-hand side, Lamine Yamal, with, of course, Lewandowski leading the line. That is how I think we should line up if we're not willing to start either Pau Victor or Ansu Fati on that left side. And of course, guys, keep a very close eye on Frenkie de Jong. He is going to be coming off the bench again in this game. I don't think we're going to want to pile loads of minutes on him just before the international break, because of course then he's going to have 2 more weeks to get himself more ready, get himself more sharp. But I think we will see him again. It's going to be great when we do. And of course, he's another really important option in that midfield. But indeed, guys, we must make time here to go over the predictions ahead of this game, because right now, if we're going to be honest, the score is 13 to me and 3 to you guys as a community. Now, of course, that mainly came from the last Champions League game where we did double points. I took home 10 points because of Lewandowski and the 5-goal margin win for Barça, but there's going to be lots more double points games coming up, especially after the international break, guys. So plenty of time to turn things around, don't worry. But what about this game then? What about Sunday against Alaves? You guys are opting here for a win again by 3 goals in Barca's favour. Sticking with what you guys went with against Young Boys, they're thinking Barca are going to get the job done. Again, there's plenty of votes here for 5+, plenty of votes as well for 4 goals on the day. And I'm again going to go for a bit more, but maybe not too far this time. I'm going to say Barca may win on Sunday by a 4-goal margin. It's kind of crazy when we're talking about away games here, when we're talking about Barca playing teams and winning by 4 goals, like it's nothing. But I just have such belief right now in the team and what we are doing. And what about the goal scorer? And this is a really close one, by the way. You guys, so close there between Lewandowski and Rafinha and Yamal to score first. But in the end, you've just gone with the ever-dependable Robert Lewandowski, and he's such a safe bet, isn't he? You know, when you're looking at the first goal scorer, when you're thinking about players who could get it, he's your man, right at the top of the list. I'm going to join you here. Let's both go for Lewandowski to open the scoring for Barca against Alaves, and let's make it, guys, a special game again. Like I say, the last time we went into an international break, we went into it with a 7-0 win. Well, let's do it again. I don't think we're asking for too much here. Let's go into the next international break in exactly the same way. Let's produce some Hansi Flick magic. And please do let me know, guys, all of your thoughts ahead of the game in the comments down below. What do you think the score is going to be? Who is going to score first? Let's see who can get it right. And I will catch you all, of course, after the game on Sunday, hopefully to celebrate. Thank you indeed for watching, and thank you all for the great support. But until next time, as always, Vejka, Barça.